Well, greetings, Blade fans. Good morning. It's morning right now where I am. And it might be morning, evening, afternoon when you see this. That's fine. Greetings at any rate. I have again some knives on the table that talk to me. They are knives that are well regarded, that have some special meaning, a little bit above the rest in the collection. So let's get right to it. I think you know my theme. This is the third iteration in a series by that name, Knives That Talk to Me, and what are they saying? So let's find out what they're saying, and let's back out a little so you can see all of them. I have 6 today. I squeezed another one in. I had been doing a series of 5. There's a series of 6. I'm going to start with the concept Chicari, a wonderful knife that has been well reviewed by many YouTube reviewers. It's out of 20 CV. It is a design by Morgan Cohens. I believe he's from South Africa, but correct me if I'm wrong on that. And the Chicari, I believe, means hunter in one of the African languages. Beautiful titanium clip, fantastic marbled carbon fiber scales, titanium bolster, and it is a large knife. It is overall, and we're not going to do all the specs, it's 9.5 inches almost. It is a big one with a 4-inch blade. On any of these, if you want to know more, there are reviews, individual reviews on the channel. Just look them up. Usually a few keywords will get you there. It is a thinner knife, but it is a tall knife in both blade and handle. It can be a great working knife. It can be a hunter, a skinner, an EDC, whatever you wish it to be, and it's not particularly heavy. Backspacer, lanyard hole, and does have a point up right side only clip, unfortunately for you lefties. Beautiful finish on the blade, kind of a bead blast, minimally branded. There's the concept logo. And then here we just have Chicari, very small, and in here we have the maker's name, and I think stuffed in over here we have 20 CV. Beautiful action on it, drop shut, just really smooth on bearings. There you have the Chicari by Concept. Let's jump to a Tucson. We have pretty good representation here today from different brands. So this is the Tucson 223, designed by Jelly Jerry. This has got to be one of the classics from Tucson, I would say. It's a classic design, drop point with a large belly, very useful design, flat grind, very slicey. M390 on this one, and I know they later on or earlier on came out with it in 14C28N. This one's an M390. There's Jelly Jerry's logo. It is just absolutely a class knife. Look at that drop shot action. Again, really nice carbon fiber on this one. Fluting on the handle. It is a frame lock construction, as was the Chicari. If you like a traditional looking sort of a folder, this is definitely it. Great size, fits the hand, not as large as the Chicari by any means. Really nice titanium backspacer, titanium frame. These are nicely inletted, the handles. You can see them kind of not dovetailed in, but milled in. Clip on this, as with many titanium clips, is right side only, tip up. But look at that millwork on the clip. A fantastic knife. The only thing it's missing is a little jimping, but I think Jelly just left that off because it's a cleaner look without it. Maybe not as useful for you guys that want a little bit of traction there, but it's a wide blade coming in at around 4 millimeters, I believe, or better. Full flat grind, beautiful belly, nice working knife, or simply a real attractive addition to the collection. Moving on. Why not bring in a petrified fish? We all love petrified fish. I know many of you do anyway. I've got 3 versions of this 949 Warrior model. And let's double check that. I believe it is the 949. Yep, 949. This is in Bulwer K110, which is another variant on D2. It's a Swedish Bowler K110. Beautiful swedge, really kind of a clip point with this thumb swale on the top. It is a crowned, beautifully crowned spine on this, and even the swedge looks like it's crowned. Not sure what to call the material. It's kind of a swirl G10. I think they said it was a composite of carbon fiber and G10. Could be wrong, but it does go all the way through the material. It's not just on the surface. And they're using this in red and a few other colors. There's your beautiful Petrified Fish logo. Just a classy blade. I guess kind of a toss-up between whether this would be the favorite or the Beluga, but I really do like the Warrior, and I like it so much I got it in a couple other handles and blade configurations too. I got this in natural ebony wood, which is really nice as well. If you only want to get one petrified fish, I would get this one or the Beluga. They're both classy, classy knives. It's a large size knife, about a 3 3/4 inch blade, minimally branded. And what we have is kind of a satin finish on the flat and a bead blast on the grind. Beautiful, beautiful knife, lightweight, great for EDC. And we don't have a switchable clip on it, unfortunately, but it is a deep carry, blue and black, kind of a blue anodized clip. They got the dome head screws, but the clip itself is inset into the G10. And we do have a lanyard hole. The Warrior 949 by Petrified Fish. Great knife. We'll move on to something a little more unusual. This is the Raptor by Defcon. A karambit flipper. But not only that, we have a wave opening feature on the top. It came with a plug in there with a cylinder with a little torque screw in there. You loosen it up and you can drop it out, so you can have either the wave or not the wave. I don't know if they did that to satisfy local laws or what, but it was a blue color similar to the blank you see there for the clip. So you can see that the clip will go to either side. But look at that beautiful bronzed titanium handle, and that is carbon fiber in there that they textured. Isn't that interesting? Usually carbon fiber sort of stands on its own because it has its own texture. It is a frame lock, not particularly deep carry, and we have a very unusual ring on this knife with a couple of points and a thumb ramp. So if you're holding it this way, you've got pretty good grip with the traditional point down karambit, but it works extremely well as a talon style knife as well, even without using the ring. And look at that spanned arched back strap or back spacer, call it a back spacer, back strap. Doesn't fill in any gaps, it just sort of does fill into your palm, and you can get a very good grip on this. And I think it's about a 5mm blade stock. I had at least one viewer buy this knife and immediately slipped out of his hand and dropped onto his leg, and he got a hell of a gash. This point is so wicked on this knife. The thing about karambits is if you're not used to handling them, you don't know where the point is because it curves. And so many people have nicked themselves, or worse, with a karambit. But this is, again, the Defcon Raptor. Really neat knife. I seldom carry this. It's just kind of a good looking, real interesting collectible with that faceted swedge on the top. A look you don't often see in a karambit. Somebody, however, did tell me that they thought this looked a lot like another karambit that was a lot less expensive. Materials on this is S35VN, I believe. It's pretty heavily branded. Yep, S35VN right over there. So, see if we can get the show on the road a little more here. I got a budget one in the mix here. Of course, the Petrified Fish was budget, but this is the Megaron Verona. A very impressive, I think they're coming in at around only 50 or 60 bucks at the most. And it is a large, long knife. I said a little over 4 inches. Is about 4 1/4. You don't see too many budget knives that are large. Look at the beautiful crown spine, and you get a lot for the money on this knife. And the steel on this one, is it even marked? That is interesting. Well, I'm going to do a quick look up. Bear with me. All right, took a little pause there, which you may or may not have noticed in the video, so I could look this one up. It is out of DC53 steel, the Verona is. And per knife steel composition and reference data, it is quite a tough steel with, as per the manufacturer, almost twice the toughness, better wear resistance, and smaller carbide size compared to D2. It's capable of 62 to 64 Rockwell hardness. Very similar to Sleipner steel, with slightly more carbon and less MO and vanadium. All right, don't want to get too into each knife, but that's your steel, DC53. We got a beautiful long fuller on this knife, which can easily be used for middle finger flick, or let's see, if you catch it up here, yeah, you can roll it out or flick it with the thumb. Close to, well, we're not going to call it a deep carry clip, and it is not transferable to the left side. So it is a titanium clip. We can check that. Whoop, just dropped my magnet. Yeah, titanium clip. And this one has kind of a gray G10 handle slabs. Slim, great in the hand. Got some jimping on the frame and on the end of the back strap. Back spacer is the same material as the handles, looks like. Yep. And just all around an excellent knife. The Megaron Verona. If you haven't checked out Megaron yet, they've got a full range of knives from budget up to higher end. Well, that leaves one knife, doesn't it? Number 6. And this is the WE Knives Straight Up. It's an internal design. It is a thumb stud opener. It is a beautiful and unusual knife that is no longer in production, to the best of my knowledge. So you're not going to be able to pick this one up. And there might be Well, we'll discuss one other you may or may not be able to get before we finish, but the work on this is remarkable, and I've showcased this a couple of times, both as a individual review on this knife, but also as a part of some other collections. This is a zero grind once we get past the belly of the knife. It's a traditional style tanto blade, meaning not an Americanized tanto, but a little bit more in kind of the Quaken territory. But actually, really, the profile is that straight back, belly towards the front, straight edge style tanto. You notice something interesting about the design pattern on the handle, and it is a titanium handle, and the blade is M390. But that's the WE logo, if you really look at it. There's the W and the E, just as you have on the pivot. They just ran it all the way up the handle as the design. Had come in a couple different colors. This one is the blue anodized with the gold showing through, gold anodized. Not sure how they do that, but it's very interesting. And also unusual for a knife with a titanium clip and handle is a deep carry clip. It's not transferable, but look at how far that goes back up the knife. And this is an earlier model that has the star type screws. You can see very few of them, however. Just on the pivot, on the hardened steel insert and the locking bar, and underneath the clip there to remove the clip. Just a real class design. And you've got a brass pin for your lanyard. Stone-washed handle, black blade, with just a satin for the grind. How cool is that? And it is a sharp one. Would I ever want to sharpen this? I'd probably send it out to one of those guys that has more of a sharpening channel, because that grind just goes like a samurai sword, really, right down to the edge. Beautiful fuller. Fuller lies pretty much under the handle. You could possibly use it to open, but it's not designed for that. A single thumb stud that is not even movable to the other side because your relief is here. But just one of my favorites. Real class knife. Let's bring them all out again so we can wrap this up. That's the Straight Up by WE. This is the Warrior 949 by Petrified Fish. This is the TS223. WE knives, or not WE knives, Tucson knives in Jelly Jerry design. Here is the Raptor by Defcon. The Verona by Megaron. And finally, the Chicari by Concept. Hope you enjoyed these knives that talk to me. What were they saying? Hope you found out. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe if you haven't already. Click that symbol at the end of this video that's coming up right now. That's my logo. Click on that and you can subscribe. Be back with you soon.